Sup, geeks? This is John, and I know what you're looking for. Yeah, you, Peter. Look at me. AJ, look at me. I know what you're both looking for. Sexy, glamorous, manly, yet feminine. Backpacks / duffel bag hybrids.
That is what I'm looking for.
Shut up, Peter. So, if you want 20%, and I know you do, you want 20% off your backpack because y'all love to save money.
Y'all do.
I'm still in the ad.
Go ahead and go to muzmm.com for that sexy, manly 20% off. Or you can use discount code STGeek at checkout. I guarantee you, you're going to love it.
Lord knows I needs it.
Sound good? Can we record? Fuck you, Peter. Let's do it.
Let's go.
That would be nice. I wouldn't.
I got this really nice computer that you can use. Problem is, it does not have Wi-Fi. So you'll have to figure that one out.
I think I would rather use a rock.
That's all. It'll get you just as far.
Exactly.
Let's invest in like a 200-foot Ethernet cable for John. That would just be fun. And then we can make a video of him hooking it all up. That'd be fun. Nice.
It's going to be a 10-second video of him looking at two cords back and forth and then just walking away.
Just make a grunt and throw it. It's in the computer.
On that note, welcome to I was going to say that the place of my work. That's how tired I am. Oh my God. Wow. Welcome to the STGeek Podcast, where we occasionally talk about seafood, movies, video games, comics, and TV shows. I am AJ, and with me as always are my co-hosts.
Peter.
John, I think my name is.
The one looming in the shadows, John. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are going to be talking about The Devil All the Time, new movie starring quite a few people, actually. It's one of those, is the awesome cast going to make this movie great? We'll talk about it later.
We'll see.
We'll see for sure. Check out the ratings on Google. You can just see what Rotten Tomatoes think and what Google users think as well. But until then, hang out.
That way you guys know what to think.
Exactly. Let's see. Before we get started, though, I just wanted to say congratulations again to Mr. P. Fresh over here for getting married over the past weekend. He's that sexy gentleman right next to me, at least in my recording of the video.
He got lost in space. Oh,
he's got the rings. Sorry, the one ring. There we go.
The one ring.
The one ring.
The one ring to rule Peter.
To rule them all. Yes.
To rule Peter. And that's exactly what his bride is doing.
It allows me to rule as well. In certain instances when given permission.
Exactly, when given permission.
Yep. You're trained well. Very good. Well, that was a crazy-ass weekend. We had, a ridiculous time. I'm glad we all got to do that.
I had a blast.
10 years of going to Las Vegas. By the way, everyone COVID-free. Got my test results done the day after we got back. Thank God.
I did it that following day, too. Weird test.
Same.
We all got our brains picked or what?
Yeah.
I went in for anal probing, and they stuck something in my nose.
In your ass first, and then your nose after.
And then my nose.
Yeah.
It went so into my nose that it came out of my ass. So you figure that out.
New meaning to shit for brains as far as John goes, for sure. So last week you guys talked about like the Xbox Series X and Series S, which was pretty cool. I was glad that you guys touched on that. Definitely
we chose to do it, by the way.
It was our choice.
It was our choice.
Anyway, so since then, we've gotten more news about the PS5 as far as price point, release date, which is like, what, 2 days later? After the Xbox Series X. So
I wonder how rushed together that presentation was. Well, it was. It kind of felt like it was rushed because there were some things that they kind of went back on, like almost immediately.
Like what?
Like the Demon Souls remaster.
Mm-hmm.
They accidentally released one of the images that said it was eventually going to be coming to like Xbox and PC.
Okay.
Oh, where it said exclusive on PlayStation at the bottom of the fine print.
Yeah.
it's like also
Gotcha.
but also on other systems. It's like, wait, what? Yeah.
They just did like a Sharpie over the exclusive part for the second presentation.
Yeah, so it felt like they didn't. I don't know. It felt rushed to me, but now since Xbox finally pulled the trigger on the release date and the prices and whatnot, they felt like they needed to.
From my understanding, they were
to
forced.
that time anyway.
Yeah,
they were forced. That's what I heard. That there were already like leaks of how much the price was going to be, so that's why they like just out of nowhere said this is the price.
It was like the day before they had actually. Yeah, had the presentation. It started to leak.
Oh, okay.
Which again was like may have just been because they were actually rushing to get the word out there anyway.
Yeah, I mean that said, everyone was kind of estimating $400 to $500 for the console anyway. Probably $50 to $100 cheaper for the digital only version, which turned out to be the case anyway. But
I was honestly expecting it to only be $50 cheaper.
Yeah, really.
A disc drive is honestly not that expensive, like $20.
But then also very undependable as well, as you and I know as we all three know in our Xbox 360 experience, where you're gonna have to give a little love.
Just get a little tap.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, open.
Smack the console booty for a second to get it to open the disc tray, the disc drive. Yeah. So I mean, if you don't want to have that problem, probably go digital only. Save yourself $100. Is that literally the only difference as far as power goes? It's the exact same console.
Yeah, from what they've said. Going to be the exact same, just one's unlike the Xbox Series S. That check myself every fucking time I have to talk about that.
Everyone does. It's okay.
Which is a digital only version, but it's not quite as powerful as
the poor man version. It's literally the poor man's version of the Xbox.
It's also an extremely fair price for a next gen console, though, too.
Yeah, but next gen in quotations, like it is next gen, but it's not quite as next gen. There is a pretty big power difference there between the S and the X.
I mean, I would say like one of the biggest ones, which is also depending on what kind of TV you have or plan to invest in. If you don't have a 4K TV, then you're not going to be taking advantage of full 4K anyway, or native 4K for that matter. So I guess you won't be able to play, I don't know, Demon's Souls one day at 4K, 60 to 120 frames per second. So, I mean, that's something that the Series S won't be able to do, but the X obviously is kind of a powerhouse between the two consoles. It's definitely like, as far as hardware goes, it's the more superior, but at the end of the day, it's kind of sad because I was actually able to get my PS5 pre-order in, thank God, but I'm questioning going for the Series X right now as well, at least launch day. I don't know. As of the recording of this video right now, we're 2 days out from the pre-orders being available for Series X, and I don't know if I'm going to spend the money to get it day one like I did for the PS5.
I'm certainly going to wait. I'm going to wait to see, because all the specs for the Series S, the Series S, as the days kind of went by following the reveal, you just get, there's been more and more information that kind of makes it sound like it's not going to be quite as good. So like that price difference is definitely reasonable, I guess, in the sense that if like they're definitely cutting costs to make it that affordable. I think I'm gonna wait until it actually comes out, see what people are saying, how exactly does it perform compared to the Series X and whatnot, and then I'll decide at that point.
I don't want to go through MVCI load screens again.
Oh,
I'm okay.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. The weird thing is, I mean, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 base models for both those consoles, talking current gen right now, what's left of current gen, there's not that big of a power difference to my understanding. Well, that's not true. The Xbox One, I think, was able to do like 900p for the longest time, while the PS4 was always able to do 1080p as far as resolution goes. So it's kind of whack that was the case. But I mean, I don't see why that would have anything to do with just loading times. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm not that big of a tech nerd, but kind of disappointing. But yeah,
Not enough teraflops.
Yeah, not enough teraflops.
So many flops.
Exactly.
All the flops.
I don't
All
quite
the
know
flops.
what a teraflop is, but I know it's a word that gets thrown out a lot
It's what
when talking about processing power. So yeah, I'm going to say not enough flops.
Right. Whenever someone's talking about having computer trouble, have you checked the teraflops though?
Mm-hmm.
My coffee isn't strong enough. Have you checked the teraflop?
Absolutely. By the way, so how are you guys feeling about the PS5 launch? Is this something that you guys are going to get day one? Are you going to hold off for a while on that as well?
I'm kind of up in the air about it right now, but I'm probably gonna, if I can get it day one, sure. But if not, I don't care. I'm not.
Might have to wait in a line, but that's about it.
I think I'm gonna wait. I mean, it's too late now. I would have pre-ordered it, but it's too late now, right?
For now, until they decide to do it.
And it gives me time because I'm still kind of on the fence if I just want to get like a gaming PC or a gaming laptop.
I'm really kind of on that fence too.
You made me envious. Your laptop it's changed my mind.
It's a beautiful laptop. Yeah, we got.
It made me
over the weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey though. Like to get one like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got that one for free, but when mine first came out, it was like $2,000.
Jeez. So yeah, if you don't mind spending 4 times as much on a great gaming gaming PC, then yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess one thing for me, as far as like the consoles go and all that, is the exclusives. I mean, I think that's kind of like the killer app for for that as far as it goes. And PlayStation, I mean, I don't want to use the word unfortunately, but I guess I kind of have to personally, just because I've always been slightly more of an Xbox guy as far as exclusives go. But I feel like they just hit it out of the fucking park with the PS4 generation. Like, I cannot wait for God of War 2 or God of War Ragnarok, whatever they're going to call it. That's going to be awesome. I mean, I don't know. I think Spider-Man's going to be a timed exclusive as well. I don't think that's going to be full on, or actually, no, it probably will be exclusive to PS5.
I would imagine Spider-Man being owned by Sony. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has a stronger, like, I don't know, it just has a stronger lineup of exclusive games on the PS5 compared to the Xbox Series X, which is ultimately like why I went with PlayStation instead of Xbox this time around. I mean, when Halo comes out, I'm gonna get the Xbox, but
fuck yeah, easy. Take my money when it comes out.
PlayStation's exclusives are mostly, at least going into this next console generation, are mostly sequels and remasters.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I was picking up.
Yeah, and Microsoft is have a lot more original IPs. So it's not that they don't have exclusives; it's that people don't have attachment to those exclusives just yet.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. That said, though, I mean, from both presentations now that we've gotten from each company, because they've each released like 2 within the past like 2 or 3 months, I feel like PlayStation's presentations are just smacking them out of the water, like way more than what Xbox has been showing. I mean, that said, we all kind of talked about our feelings about the intro, Halo Infinite demo, which was great. It was pretty fun to watch. But even still, I mean, people are memeing the fuck out of that demo too. Or at least
Did we talk about how it got pushed back like immediately?
Yeah, dude, that's pretty messed up. Which is like, again, even more so reason why I don't feel the need to pick up an Xbox right away. Unfortunate, but at the end of the day, if it's best for the game to be delayed, then by all means, delay the fuck out of it. I don't care. Give it another year in the oven. I don't care.
Yeah.
But now I don't want an Xbox, so
right.
There's the problem.
Right. I mean, that said, off the top of my head, as far as exclusives that I need to buy an Xbox for, I mean, I guess Halo Infinite, of course, Gears 6, whenever they decide to do that. And yeah, I can't think of any other console exclusive that I have to own on an Xbox, where PlayStation just has, like, I don't know, they just have a wider range of games that I think I'm going to appreciate this generation. But that said, I'm hoping Xbox can catch the fuck up because, yeah, I'm always going to love Xbox at the end of the day.
Have they showed what the OS is going to be like on these consoles?
They have not.
Yeah, we don't know.
They barely revealed what they look like in some cases.
That's true. Oh man, this boy needs some more coffee or a Red Bull. Either one.
Have you checked your teraflops?
They're running a little low right now, admittedly.
By the way, we forgot to clap sync.
Ah, shit. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. That was so off.
Nailed it.
That's the internet
Crushed
for
it.
you. Let's
Crushed
get
it.
John his 200-foot Ethernet cable. All right. What did you
Well, you
guys
said
have
the
to bring
audio
up?
was
Please.
synced for the most part, so you just need to sync to the video anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think we're going to be fine, but thank you for bringing it up just in case, though.
So did you guys hear there's some Marvel news going around?
Ooh, what kind?
Okay. Tell me.
Number one, Peter knew it all along. I've been talking about it for years.
Put on your tinfoil hats, everybody.
That we were going to get in this next phase of MCU movies, we were going to be getting Kang the Conqueror. And it looks like that's true.
Oh, interesting. As in like a solo movie series?
No, he's going to be, well, see, that's the thing. We don't really know what capacity he's going to be in because he's going to be in Ant-Man 3. I see your hat, John. Good, very, very good.
Thank you.
He's going to be in the Ant-Man movie that whenever the hell that comes out.
Oh, so movie I'm not going to watch.
Ant-Man 3. You're not going to see Paul Rudd? You're not going to, you don't want to swoon for a little bit?
Right?
And then,
I could just
chuckle at yourself at how charming
certified
he is?
young guy Paul Rudd? No, I'm okay. I feel
Certified young guy.
I feel like that aged him a bit.
That was the point. That was the whole joke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Only thing is the joke worked, and now we all think he's old. He's not as young as we once thought he was.
Yeah, the whole bit was, it was basically hello fellow kids, the sketch.
Right. I thought he did a great job with that. That was
It was
hilarious.
funny,
that was hilarious.
But also when he pops off at the end.
In case the audience doesn't know what we're talking about, Paul Rudd did like a viral video where
For millennials.
for millennials to like wear masks and social distance and stuff, and it's hilarious. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Yep.
Certified young guy Paul Rudd.
He pulled that off extremely well.
It came out of nowhere too. I remember just seeing it online one day. I'm like, what?
Right. I saw our
What
buddy
has
Glenn
COVID done
retweet
to
it, so I
us?
instantly had to. That was just magic. But yeah, wear a fucking mask, you idiots who don't want to wear a mask.
Mhm.
That's as political as I want to get on this episode, but yeah, don't be selfish. Wear a fucking mask, you bitch. Anyway, moving on.
That got aggressive.
Hey, well, I think they need to hear it. They need to understand the severity of their lack of decision making or critical decision making. Anyway,
That's how you get people to listen. You
right?
scold them and yell at
Talk
them.
all the shit.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe they had poor parenting, and so therefore they need to get it now in their 20s,
Well,
30s, 40s, and
it's not
beyond.
going to help now. It's too late for them.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, maybe they'll be the ones to die off then. Anyway, Super
Wow,
Mario
that
3
got
All-Stars.
dark.
It's out. Yay.
No more
Can't
early
wait to
recordings for us.
go. I know,
This
right?
is the kind of AJ we get.
The cranky AJ.
I miss the racist AJ. Not the dark AJ.
Exactly. Can't you just go back to being racist again? It's funny.
Never thought I'd miss that.
No one did. Super Mario
Anyway,
3D
what's something about
All-Stars.
Mario?
He wears a mask. Well, actually, no, he doesn't need
I think
to.
we talked about that last week.
Did we? Oh, did you guys?
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about how it's like? I own it. I'm not gonna open it though. I don't think I'm gonna play it. I want
Josh
to.
is doing. My brother's the same way.
They
He
have
has
a-
it. He showed me it.
Oh, we did talk about it. I think we
Yeah.
talked about it like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
We may
it
have.
sounds
I don't
vaguely
remember.
familiar. Or maybe we just
We've mentioned it.
sure.
Well, it's happening. It has happened.
It
It's
has
released.
it has had happened.
You can own an emulator and get them for free, but
Right.
these are brand new remastered versions of the games, right, AJ?
Whoa.
Oh, wait,
remaster is such a
oh.
strong word, sir.
Okay. So.
And also one that needs to have an asterisk at the end as well.
I'll keep playing with my emulators. I own the game on 64, so technically I'm fine to play it on my emulator legally.
I don't think that's how it works.
Oh,
Really? Are you sure?
You spend the money 20 years ago, and you're still good today.
Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you
Over
own
20
the
years
copy of the game, oh, you know what? You might be right. AJ, you a thief.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so they're just ports for the most part, right?
Like basic ports for the most part. I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, anyone who's watching or listening, if I'm wrong, but as far as Mario Sunshine goes, I'm pretty sure they widened the aspect ratio, but what a lot of people are disappointed about is that the lack of care beyond that. Like, they didn't make it like full HD. They didn't make it run at like 60 frames per second or anything like that. It's kind of just like, okay, you get to see a little bit more of the environment around you, and that's about it. But
It's
I mean,
Super
one good
Mario.
thing is,
It was made in '89. Are people really complaining that you can't play a game from that old at 60 frames a second
oh
at
no, no, no,
1080p?
Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh,
So I mean, like, you know, they're. I guess people are just saying, like, why? I guess it's just. I mean, it is what it is. They didn't promise anything, so I can understand why people are disappointed. But at the same time, it's not like they advertised it to be a certain way. It's just here are these 3 games that everyone loves, all in one collection for limited time availability on Switch. So if you want it, get it. If not, cool, you don't have
How
to.
dare they call it All Stars? There, I said it.
I mean, I think it's a really cool idea. I'm glad that Mario Galaxy, which is the game I'm most excited to play on it, is like running at 60 frames per second at 1080p, if I'm not mistaken. But also that was something they did back on the Wii U. So for them to bring it to the Switch, I mean, I wish they would have, I don't know, maybe up the oomph a little bit for this, but oh well, is what it is.
I wish I would have got when are they going to allow me to play Super Mario RPG again? That's what I want to know. When are they going to re-release or remaster that?
The bastard child that is Mario RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are releasing Super Nintendo games on Nintendo Switch Online. Maybe they'll throw that on there one day too. When they announce Geno for Smash, that's when.
Bastards.
That's when they'll do it. I mean, hey, there's still a chance. We still have a full season of DLC ahead of us for Smash Bros. So we'll see. I wouldn't doubt it. They've been answering the fans a lot as far as Smash goes.
Yep. Oh yeah, totally.
They are doing all the fans.
Byleth was the character everybody asked for. You know what? There's not enough Fire Emblem representation in this game. That's what the fans have been saying.
It's such an underrated series. I mean, they have to be able to give it representation somewhere. That's the thing.
That pissed me off, so I'm still salty about that.
If it helps, it's a very unique character, even though it happens to be a Fire Emblem character.
Wasted slot.
They're not just another sword user, you know?
If it was reskinned as a different character, would your opinion change at all?
Probably.
All right, I can get you that.
Because she plays interesting. Because she does have an interesting play style, but it's a fucking Fire Emblem character.
That's what you were given.
But they're really it's not really a 1-to-1 comparison when you ask it like that either, because they usually build their moveset around whatever the character is.
Yeah, that's where my head went exactly. Yeah, so it's like what other character in Nintendo history, or not at this point? The great thing is, at this point, it doesn't have to be Nintendo either, which is cool. But also the weapon variety they have. How could they translate that to another character?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just works out well for Byleth with all the legendary weapons.
Peter is in the group probably the only person who still plays Smash. I wouldn't say religiously, but maybe twice out of the week. I would say maybe. So I'm just curious to know, where do you put Banjo-Kazooie on that tier list? On Peter's tier list,
he's like, okay, I'm really not. Yeah, I'm certainly no expert on that type of stuff, but I would put him like middle.
So when you see him, it's whatever. It's like
maybe middle low. Yeah, kind of.
I do love when people like abuse the Kazooie shield with like the golden feathers, the yellow feathers.
It's very easy to punish if you read it. You just like it. You got to make such a hard read with that move because it's so easy and big to punish.
Gotcha. So if you're going to utilize it, like you said, you have to understand what the situation. Okay. I feel like I mainly see it when people are like flying off stage and they want to get back on. That's the most utilization I see. That's about it. Just like a safer way to get back on. Have like an invisibility frame or two. Yeah,
but again, if you know how to punish it, it's stupid easy.
Right back off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys?
I actually love it's super easy to punish with the Falcon Punch when they try to spam that shit.
Oh, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Like, oh, okay, you're gonna come at me at that speed. Oh.
You just gotta read it. You do a hop, and then you start it up, and then they'll go right under you, and then you land right in front of them. It's great.
Messed up. But that sounds great, actually. Oh, especially for you as a Falcon player, that sounds perfect. The one time.
That's what I mean. I love playing banjos because it's like this is so easy.
Wow.
that's also just the matchup too. Like Captain wins that matchup easy.
Oh, okay, for sure.
A harder time. Anyway, what are we talking about again? Mario RPG.
Still even more so looming in the darkness. I can barely see the glimmer in your eye. It's actually really creepy.
AJ, I'm curious. Okay? Since you missed out on the last week's pod,
Yeah, which
I'm
I
very
listened to though. You guys did a great job. It was fun.
What do you think about the Age of Calamity trailer?
Oh, dude, yeah, you're right. I was jealous not being able to gush about it with you guys. So thank you for the opportunity. I think it looks great. I mean, one thing I will say is compared to the last Hyrule Warriors trailer, at least based from memory, I feel like this one looks a lot more story driven. It looks really fun. It looks pretty tight. I'm like, holy shit, this looks like another very dark venture into the Legend of Zelda universe. And the cool thing about it was like it looks so story driven. I thought it was like a trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 at first. I was like, oh my God, are we finally like seeing more of this game right now? And then by the time I like the trailer went on, I was like, oh, okay. Hyrule Warriors 2, great. And the way I discovered it was, I mean, obviously on Twitter when it released in the Japanese only trailer. I saw some tweets about Hyrule Warriors and the completionist on YouTube. People were like, oh God, like he just barely was able to complete, or I think he might still be working on completing Hyrule Warriors 1. He had to like grind the fuck out of that game because apparently it's very difficult to complete everything and unlock everything. And so now, like right as he's trying to get up this huge mountain, a sequel's right around the corner. So he's like, well, fuck my life then. There goes another year. So
I'm anyway, a little confused.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so
you just went off on a God. I almost regret bringing it up because you just went off on a whole thing.
Right?
Who's doing what and what mountain and who didn't finish what game?
Well, the mountain was a metaphor. There's this that I mentioned on YouTube, a YouTuber, if you will. He is known for completing games. Go figure, the completionist, and he's had like this really hard time trying to complete Hyrule Warriors 1.
That was the missing link. Okay. I figured it out. No pun intended.
You got us again.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so yeah, he pretty much the way I found out about the trailer was people tweeting at him saying, oh God, here you go again. Good luck. You barely completed the other one. And that's pretty much where we're at now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited for it though. Long story short, looks like a fun game. It makes me want to play it. It looks awesome. Yeah.
Well,
I'm not that big of a Dynasty Warriors guy though.
Dynasty Warriors was made by Capcom?
I don't think so. Is it? I feel like that's like a Koei Tecmo game or something like that. Like the people that make like Ninja Gaiden. I want to Google that now.
Do it.
Dynasty Warriors. Everyone that knows is like, it's fucking
They're screaming
this.
at us.
It's fucking this. It is Koei Tecmo. Okay. I'm not crazy. Well, I am crazy. I just happen to know that.
You're a very crazy man.
Yeah. We all saw my rant just a second ago, so there you go. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty hyped for this game. How about you, John? Have you seen the trailer yet?
No.
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
I would say watch it. It's a fun one. And Be Fresh was almost back.
Just to change subjects, did you hear that The Mandalorian is coming out October 30th?
I did see it, and I'm excited for it.
I'm so hyped.
Oh, hell yeah. I was actually just talking about that with a buddy from work yesterday because, like, I forget what channel was on, but they were, like, playing, like, a marathon of Star Wars different movies throughout the generations and such. And then we were like, I was asking him, I was like, oh, so what do you think of, like, Star Wars right now? And he was like, well, to be honest, I mean, I like the prequel series, but they kind of lost me with the sequel. And I was like, really? The prequel series? And
the prequels? Like, that's what drew you in?
I mean, to be fair, that's like, he's our age, so that was like our time to get into Star Wars. Like,
wait,
our own version of Star Wars.
He's our age.
You're up to Star Wars now, Peter.
Okay, so hold on. Breaking. I got some breaking news.
Oh God,
I got some breaking news.
All right, hold on.
I don't know if this is going to be the first video podcast in a while or not, but if you saw me step away for a bit,
he jerked off.
Maylee's parents may have just adopted a dog for us.
Oh, so Peter's all excited. What is it? A corgi? It's not. What kind of dog is it?
A Shiba Inu.
Oh my God, the other corgi.
The other corgi.
Nice.
Yeah.
But less attractive, but still equally as cute corgi.
As cute, yes.
Shiba Inu are adorable. Is it there with you right now?
No.
Oh God.
Yeah, they were calling us. I don't know if you saw me. Like, that phone call that happened a moment ago, and they were calling nonstop. So I was like, what the fuck?
That's freaking Shiba Inu are like the Japanese corgi for sure.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's exciting. Well, I'll have news updates as the story progresses.
As the podcast.
Stay tuned.
Nice. This has been a puppy corner right now. The Peter
This
Puppy
just
corner.
in. This just handed to me. Anyway, Star Wars. What?
So I'm gonna go back to what I was about to say.
Sure.
AJ just let me know that he has a coworker who appreciates the prequels more than any of the other ones, right? AJ,
To my
correct?
understanding, at least certainly
That's
more
good that they
compared
hire
to the
special people
sequels.
over at Boiling Crab. That's good.
And AJ tried to justify it by saying, well, he's our age and it's a Star Wars that he kind of, came out at the time when we were alive.
Yeah, it was like our
Bullshit.
Star Wars. Or at
That
least
is-
our
that
first
mean?
Star
That's
Wars.
a bullshit excuse.
That's like saying, you know what, the Rocky movie, not really my thing. Rocky 5 and Rocky Balboa, those movies are great. 'Cause those movies came out
Tommy
while I was
Gunn?
alive. Tommy Gunn, man, I'm telling you. Actually, I don't know what I don't know when that movie came out. I think I was alive.
I mean, to be fair,
It was
that actually
amazing.
you described me right now, Peter. I definitely prefer Balboa and
Oh my
then all
God.
the other Creed
We cannot
movies.
be friends, AJ.
I think that movie's great.
I mean, it's not terrible, but compared to the other ones,
I just have a really fun time laughing at that movie. I mean, I like it sincerely. Don't get me wrong. I sincerely enjoy Rocky Balboa, but at the same time, I just like him talking throughout it. I can't help but laugh the entire time.
you just wait. So you like Rocky Balboa because you like mocking Sylvester Stallone.
And I also genuinely enjoy it, but it's like a combo pack for me. It's a
I don't see how those two things can work in unison. What does that mean? I
Welcome to
respect
my
the man,
brain.
but have you heard him talk? Fuck.
Exactly. The boy can act, but can he talk?
I'm just there
I
to
don't
watch him
know.
get hit. I don't need to hear him talk.
Yeah, I can't even fathom what
He
you're trying to
speaks
say.
too clearly in Rocky 1 through 5 or Rocky 1 through 4. I can understand
Do you
him
think
too
you really?
It's pretty bad.
I don't know. Anyway, so just to the point that you made, I do appreciate the later Rocky, like the last 2 or 3 now Rocky movies compared to the originals. That's just me though.
Oh my God, AJ.
I think Creed is way better than the other ones. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not to say 1 through 3 aren't good. They're just not
And 4.
as good for me.
And
Oh,
4.
and 4 too. Yeah, sure.
Nobody
all right.
talks about 5. That one didn't happen. Even they pretend that one doesn't happen because
Under the rug.
Rocky Balboa pretty much sweeps that one under the rug completely.
It was
He's
pretty
taking
dumb.
He's taking on the character so well that you just called him Rocky Balboa. Nice.
That was the name of the. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said the
movie.
movie kind
Yeah.
of rewrites history. I'm sorry. Okay, I
Mhm.
misunderstood. I was
I
still
wouldn't
thinking
say
about his
rewrites it. It just ignores a certain
just
part
ignores
of
it.
history.
Yeah.
Why is there like a dead character that shows
The whole
up in the movie?
the whole driving force behind the 5th one was that he's got a head injury, so he can't box anymore. So he becomes a coach instead.
Yes.
Teaches Tommy Gun, and then
Which
they
is
get
Tommy
into
Gunn.
a lame ass street fight, and the lame ass
He's a street fighter. And then they fight in the street, and he hits him with a trash can lid or something. I don't remember.
Jesus.
You gotta fight him in the street. Rock or I think
He
Mickey's
becomes
dead.
Mickey?
Mickey's dead at this point. I don't know why I'm doing the Mickey voice.
I was gonna say, does he like take on that persona at that point? He sounds like a Boston ass freaking or Philly ass pirate.
And
Jesus
I liked the direction that they were going in with 5. It was just not executed well. It's just a guy.
It's a good idea.
Who's been hit so many times in the head
Mhm.
that he has some brain damage. But
Yeah,
That's so
it's a good
sad.
idea, but yeah, it
It's
was
real, though.
executed very poorly, and it sucked.
Oh damn!
Did you
I've never
hear
seen that movie before.
that
sounds crazy.
he's working on the remaster for Rocky 4.
A
Sylvester Stallone.
remaster? What is?
Yeah,
what do
he's
you
like
mean?
the director's cut.
Oh, cool.
And he's
Interesting.
completely removing the robot that they gave to Paulie for his birthday in Rocky 4.
That's only like 2 scenes, though, isn't it? But it's a pretty funny.
I mean, yeah,
It's a
people-
pretty
Get it
80s.
out.
I've said it before, probably on and off the pod, that's my favorite Rocky movie,
It's silly.
and it's
Or the
because
robot.
it's so ridiculous and so over the top. Like it almost reaches like Fast and the Furious levels of ridiculousness. Like,
In
the
terms of
robot, the fact that he
escalation-
ends the Cold War, the fact, like, I don't
What?
know.
He ends. What does he punch someone in the
with
face?
his speech?
With his, he earns the Russians' respect during the boxing match. They start cheering for him, and at the end, he gives a speech, and he pretty much ends the Cold War.
We'll call it off, boys. No more war. We're good. The Americans not so bad. Jesus Christ, we love Philly now. Wow, holy shit. Who wants a coney dog? Wrong area.
AJ, now you're being a little racist.
There he is.
What else did you expect?
Welcome back.
He's more woken up now. He finished his coffee.
Also, your Russian guy turned Japanese at the end. That was a little weird.
Wow, I think that's where the racism came in.
Mhm.
I mean, they're so close at certain areas. At least when I do a terrible accent, it's a fine line between the two. Absolutely.
Well, I'm
Anyway, long story short, no, your coworker's an idiot.
There we go. Going back, yeah. Wow, we really
back to Star Wars. What a tangent.
This is because I brought up that the Mandalorian is coming out October.
There's, I am genuinely. I guess you could tell the caffeine's picking up on all of us now.
Yeah.
I am genuinely shocked and pleasantly surprised that we've kept this podcast going for so long because and with such structure.
Okay.
Because those types of tangents just happen whenever we're off the pod. We'll start one thing. We'll start talking about peanuts and end up talking about World War II. I don't know, like in some way. I don't know how it happens. Anyway, prequels suck.
Long story short.
Shorts.
Peanuts were first created in World War II, and Star Wars prequels suck.
Rocky
All
ended
facts.
the Cold War. The prequel Star Wars movies suck. The Mandalorian's coming out October 30th.
That's all I need in this life. Thank you for the newfound knowledge. That said, I'm hype about it. I'm excited for Mandalorian season 2. I got to rewatch season 1. My mom and stepdad, I think, have rewatched season 1 now at least twice. So they're extremely excited.
They're ready.
They're very ready. They're not going to forget anything. I'm going to forget some beats if I don't go back and review. So I definitely want to take the time to do that. Just a fun little series. I don't know. I look forward to them expanding the lore a lot.
I think The Mandalorian is the best Star Wars that's come out of Star Wars. There, I said it.
That's fair. I think a lot of people
for a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, then. Oh, more puppy news? Are we getting more puppy news? Oh, Peter is muted.
I thought I muted myself. Oh, I did mute myself.
You did for a second.
Puppy news?
This is all kind of happening so fast. I don't know how much of it is actually going to happen, but that might be. I don't know if y'all can. That might be my new puppy.
Oh.
You got to watch the video version.
They're gonna come back with the Chihuahua. It didn't work
Close
out.
enough.
Yeah.
Definitely a mix, like I suspected, because there's no way anybody gives away a free Shibu.
Right. Shibu, did you just shorten the name?
Whatever. Yeah, I forgot.
That,
I forgot the second half. Oh,
it's all good.
He looks like a little wolf.
Yeah, it kind of does. Like a derpy wolf.
Yeah.
Like a sweetie wolf. All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up for the week before we get into this wonderful movie?
That thing looks like it's going to shed like a motherfucker.
He's talking about the movie. He's not talking about the dog.
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys have any topics you wanted to bring up for the week?
AJ, I'm sure you heard this during the edit or what have you, but I did a lightning round type of thing that I kind of want to do again now. I thought that was pretty fun.
Let's do it.
Lighter stuff. So the She-Hulk actress got announced.
Cool.
So that happened.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Big green lawyer. Hulk's cousin. Cool.
Yep. I'm not familiar with the actress's work. Her name's Tatiana Maslany. Is that how you pronounce it?
Maslany, seems to be.
But cool. They got their
Excited. Something different
in there. For some reason, Taco Bell is releasing a wine that's supposed to pair well with their new cheesy chalupa.
Ooh,
lovely.
I'm assuming you got to go to the cantina.
Some wine and cheese.
Taco Bell cantina.
I don't remember.
That's usually the case.
Thought
right?
It was so ridiculously stupid, and I'm just like, 2020 is weird enough as.
By the way, Taco Bell cantina has terrible beers. Keep going.
Oh, have you gone before?
I've been inside it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a real thing. I thought that was a joke.
No,
there's
real.
one right by the beach. You know where Sharky's is at?
Taco Bell cantina.
Yeah, you know Sharky's. You've been to Sharky's. It's like 2 minutes away. Walking distance. It's like 2 minutes away.
I like. Oh my God! Wait.
Why?
I like how for the one moment you were excited about Taco Bell, your face was illuminated.
How appropriate.
Do that again, whatever that was. Let us see your spirit. There he
goes.
is. There's our boy.
Go back to the dark.
And he's.
Now I'm light.
Oh God.
Now I'm Batman. Continue.
Anyway, in that same vein, Mountain Dew is releasing a new drink of their own.
I saw that.
Finally, they're making a margarita. A margarita that looks like it's made out of radioactive toxic material. It's the greenest thing you will ever see.
I got it.
And why do we need this? And why do we need a wine for a cheesy chalupa? But we got it.
Is it the Voodoo? Is that what it is?
I don't remember.
No, the Dugarita. Oh my God. It even has a terrible name.
Finally, us gamers can still do the do while also getting tanked simultaneously. It saves us a little bit of time. We don't have to drink Mountain Dew and drink beer or
from
what
the
have
margarita.
You.
I definitely did not think that Red Lobster would be the one to roll this out. Wow.
Okay, AJ, how much do you that sounds par for the course for Red Lobster, if I'm being totally honest.
Does it? I always equated to Red Lobster to being something somewhat quaint and classy, a little bit. I don't know.
No, you are wrong, AJ. They try. That's their gimmick. That's their game. That's their facade.
Peter, were you touched at a Red Lobster?
They try to pass themselves off as, hey, you want some seafood? It's kind of expensive, right? Come on down to us where you can have $15 lobster that may or may not have been fallen out of the truck that was going to the Olive Garden.
All right. Oh, damn.
No, they try to pass themselves off as a fancy seafood restaurant, but it's garbage. It sucks.
It's not good.
I haven't been there since I was a young child.
And there's probably a good reason for that.
I guess so. That said, I wouldn't mind going back, but now you're kind of steering me in the other direction. So I kind of appreciate that.
I hope that's the same for all of our listeners.
All right, Peter has a vendetta for Red Lobster.
Right. I'm going to order you Red Lobster to go as a wedding gift.
The one time I went there as a kid, it got me sick.
Oh, no.
And I was like, fuck this.
Maybe avoid Red Lobster then. Or, I'm sorry, Rojo Langosta. There you go.
There we go. Nailed it.
Thank you.
Anyway, lightning round done. That's fun.
Woo! I learned a lot today. Nice. And so
I'm
did
going to start doing
listener.
that from now on. That sounds like fun.
I'm down.
I love it whenever you have like nonsense stories that you don't talk about because you say you usually have some that you just don't bring up. Lightning round it.
Yeah, because it's literally just me saying a thing, us nodding our heads, and then that's it. So
yeah, exactly.
So it seems appropriate for something to just be like, bam.
Bam. Red Lobster.
Bam.
All right, then. Was
there
that
a few bams in this movie? Yes, that's it.
Cool. All right, then. Well, if you guys want to be able to find us on social media, check it out. I mean, we only upload episodes weekly. So in between that, we try to post little content here and there throughout the week. So you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. That's at STGeekPod. If you want to email us anything, feel free to let us know. That's STGeekPod@gmail.com. See if possibly you want us to unbox maybe a small business product that you have for free. Just want to have that free publicity. Again, email us with any business inquiries you have to STGeekPod@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Our channel is STGeek Podcast. Pretty easy. STGeek, one word, and then podcast. Yeah, let us know. Subscribe, rate, tell your friends about us if you feel like they would be into us as well, because we know that you are so much probably into John in a sexual manner. Peter's beautiful. I am just that racist guy in the corner.
Sorry.
That's about it. But yeah, that'll about do it. Today, we're going to be talking about the Netflix original.
Real quick, AJ, to add on to that, I would like to go on the record right now to say that if there's ever a product that we do shout out or sponsor, it's because I genuinely like it.
Yeah, of course.
I would not sponsor a product that I don't use or see any use for. I'm doing that now.
Unless it makes us laugh, then I'm down.
I don't know what that means.
Every man has their price, Peter. I think you're willing to sell tampons if they give you enough money.
Absolutely.
Tampons are necessary. Why wouldn't I promote tampons? If it was a tampon with a Bluetooth, I'd be like, this is stupid. I'm not sponsoring this.
But if they give you a nice $200,000 check, you'd probably...
I wouldn't personally. Nope.
This is gonna give someone cancer in their hoo-ha. Sell it. Sell it. Jesus.
Now my
After all,
phone.
we are
gets
the
me-
target market for tampons anyway, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. We should be.
Now, if
I
they
agree
promise
with
me
Peter
some
there.
exclusive content in Destiny, maybe that's a different story. But $200,000, nah, I don't need. I'm good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, if it doesn't have practical use, but it brings a smile to our face, we'll talk about it. Just email us. Email us. That's fine. Again, STGeekPod@gmail.com. Now, The Devil All the Time, starring Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson and quite a few others. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sold on. I mean, I understand they're like the star power of this film, so that's why they're on the cover. But I feel like some other actors probably could have been on like the poster, if you will, of this film.
I hate to cut you off, AJ, but I have some
ahead.
more breaking dog news.
Oh God, okay.
Apparently, Maylee's dad just went out and just picked up the dog, and the mom didn't even know about it. She's kind of pissed.
Oh shit. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Which is actually how they got their golden retriever.
Oh.
Every now and then he'll just be like, I guess someone will just ask him, "Hey, you want a dog?" And he's like, "Free dog? Fuck yeah." Yeah.
Well, he got lucky with Daisy. That's their dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got extremely lucky because she's a jackpot. Oh, such a
Yeah,
sweet
she's
puppy.
adorable. Yeah,
Absolutely.
she's a little idiot.
She's the sweetest dog I've ever known, probably. Dirty.
Golden
but sweet.
retrievers. What can you do?
Yeah.
That's
Goofball of
her.
the dog world. Oh, again,
Mhm.
watch us on YouTube, STGeek Podcast. Anyway, so
I'm gonna
are we going
turn
to get to
off
this
my
movie, or are there more
background.
updates to have?
I will update them as
He's not
more
really-
news becomes available.
You weren't in
Aurora
space?
Borealis is son of a bitch. What the fuck? I thought you were in Antarctica,
fuck.
you bitch.
No, fuck. The illusion is broken.
Oh,
Where is
God,
it?
oh, Jesus. Well.
No, don't look at me.
Oh, okay. He's back to Antarctica
Better.
or Alaska, whichever.
All is right.
Oh, God. It's a lie. It's all a sham.
I just wanted to show off Daisy better.
It costs you the whole illusion of life.
Yep, I'm fine with that. Her parents bought a massage chair because it was like dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
That's a funny story. You see the Cowboys logo down there?
Yeah.
I guess the warehouse was like this. This was supposed to be like specifically for like the Cowboys football team. Like it's the
like Troy
massage
Aikman
chairs that they
chair.
use. Yeah. But I guess they, for whatever reason, they had extra, so they were just like selling them for dirt cheap.
Oh,
Nice.
shit. Okay.
And then they were just like, "We don't watch football, but cheap massage chair. Why the hell not?" You
Right.
might be seeing a trend here.
I was gonna say, yeah. Holy crap! Free dog. Hell
And
yeah.
sometimes when some people are in the massage chair and helpless and can't defend themselves, she likes to just jump in their lap.
They're doomed.
Yep,
to
that's her
cuddles.
sister in the background. She's probably gonna hate me showing this, but
Ah,
I don't
Why
care.
not? Yeah.
Mhm.
if anything, this
Anyway.
was a lot cheaper because it had a Cowboys logo on it, right?
Ah, got him.
Ah, you're welcome.
Ah,
Dallas.
I don't watch football.
Yay,
Right.
sports.
Yay.
Hooray! That's the one where they shoot the field goal, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, you
cool.
got it, HJ.
Just
I know
wanted to
that
make
much.
sure. Just wanted to make sure. All right, so for the third or fourth attempt, The Devil All the Time. Unless anyone's got a pup date. Okay.
No new pup dates. No.
Oh, okay, sounds good. All right, so I was just getting into why I think, like, I just feel like maybe they weren't. I mean, they were a somewhat significant part of like 2/3 of the film, I guess, but the first act kind of had nothing to do with them as characters at all. Well, I mean, as that iteration of their characters, at least one of them.
It does though.
I mean,
There's a
Holland's
through
character.
line.
Yeah.
Okay, well so what are everybody's general feelings on the matter first? Because I'm assuming
Everybody's
we're
a
doing
sinner.
non-spoilers than spoilers, but honestly,
That's a
the
good way to
trailer
put it.
doesn't really give away anything. There's really there's only a couple things that I guess can be spoiled.
Okay.
But yeah, even so, the movie's definitely a slow burn.
Yeah.
I think some people are going to be turned off by that in the same way that maybe Hereditary was, or in the sense that it's a slow burn. Like,
Sure.
I'm not saying like it's that, and that's pretty much where the comparison stops
Okay,
because it's a
yeah,
very
I
different
agree.
movie in every other aspect. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, 30 minutes into the movie, I'm just like, I don't even know. We're jumping from character to character. I'm not quite sure where this is building
7
or
years
how I'm supposed to
earlier, 7 years
feel.
later, and
Yeah.
Felt like I was watching Batman vs Superman for a second.
Oh, got him. Every chance we get. Every chance. Fuck them.
We don't get our Marvel checks. If we
Fuck them.
So,
but it didn't bother me all that much. My real main complaint with that type of narrative was just it was kind of hard to get a read on the movie, if that makes any sense. Like, it was very easy to follow the way it was cut and narrated and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, I didn't. Even as the movie was kind of coming to an end, I wasn't sure what type of movie it was, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was kind of just like a slice of life film where you kind of just get to know the history of this young boy and how his life develops from there. And it's just kind of like a slice of life thing. I don't know how else to put it. There were only a small handful of scenes that I actually cared about that made me feel something, and most of it was like disgust and anger. But
there's a few that are it's a downer of a movie for sure. For
sure. Which doesn't make it a bad movie whatsoever. There's plenty of great downer movies like Hereditary that you mentioned. That is also a slow burn, but I would say a vastly superior film just as far as filmmaking goes.
I actually by the end of this movie, I ended up liking it a lot more than at the start, I think.
Okay. Agreed.
I think it paid off very
exactly. Well. I thought the payoff was great because at one point I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Act 1 and 2 were, like you said, a slow burn. Mm-hmm. But I liked it because it did make me hate the characters that I ended up hating towards the end of the movie without ruining anything.
Yeah. It's it can be interpreted in a number of different ways, I think. But I think the whole message of the movie is that there's pivotal moments. Like, they show all these pivotal moments in certain different characters' lives that kind of make them who they are. And you see how it kind of just shapes them as human beings. What with Willard, the father. How do I say this? There's so many characters. I'm not sure how many.
I know, right? Yeah, they're really
Willard, Tom Holland's father. How he found somebody. He was in World War I, I think, or World War II. No, it was World War II because they talk about the Japanese. Yeah. So in World War II, he found a soldier crucified on the battlefield who he had to end up finishing off because he was.
What a way to start a movie!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that woke me. I actually watched it this morning before the pod, and that woke me the fuck up.
Same.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
So
what a way to start the day. Let alone a movie.
Mm-hmm. And how that kind of that shapes him. He doesn't really believe. He doesn't pray, even at his mother's request, he doesn't really pray anymore. And then how that kind of carries over that even to his son. Like his son has his own pivotal moment similar to that when his mom dies and then his dad he starts believing again, and he believes so much that he tries to offer his dog, his son's dog, to God.
Awful.
In order to bring her back, and ends up taking his own life when that doesn't happen. And that shapes Tom Holland's character. That's like the pivotal moment in his life, that the day that he'll never forget, as he says later on in the movie. Like, he remembers everything about that day.
Right.
And so, it's just a crazy... It introduces you to these characters and kind of gives you a character study as you're learning about them, if that makes
I would agree. And if I may say, as much as I have certain negative feelings about, like you said, you guys mentioned, both of you, the first 2 acts of the film, that said, that there aren't highlights. There are certainly highlights in there, I should say. Like, Skarsgård is awesome in this movie. For the small bit he's in it, he is awesome. I mean, like you said, he has this traumatic scene in the very beginning, but then you have like these more like charming scenes where he's in the diner and stuff like that, and where he's just a normal bloke around after he's done with the war and such like that, and how he builds a family from there. And all those scenes are awesome. And then all of a sudden it gets extremely dark again, and I feel like in those scenes he carries them so well. And the child actor who plays the younger version of Tom Holland's character was pretty damn good as well. That little kid can act the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
great. I mean, so that's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't think it's the actor's fault that this movie didn't work for me in certain areas. It's just more so just the way it was constructed just wasn't maybe the best way that it could have gone. And I didn't fully understand the point of the of the film, other than just like, hey, you now see what the origins of these characters are, and then where life takes them from there, and the decisions that they make. I mean, go figure. That's kind of a fucking movie, but I just think other movies have done something somewhat similar, a lot better, a lot more intriguingly. That's just me.
Well, I think what it is, and this might be bias on my part, as I am
a terrible person.
An atheist?
Obviously, I am an atheist.
I'm curious to know if you have the same idea as me about this movie. I feel there was a point to this movie.
For being an atheist.
Well, here's the thing.
Sorry.
Well, okay. Before I get to that, I will say that I think the reason you feel that way, and I think the reason the movie is kind of not hard to follow, but hard to get into, is that most movies will portray religion in very subtle ways. They'll try to make this, the point of this movie is that there's good people and there's bad people. It doesn't really matter. And there's events in our lives that shape us who we are. Are you a believer or are you a not believer? It doesn't really matter. What matters are your actions. And most of the time, a movie will do that in subtle ways. It'll be a metaphor for religion in some way. When this one is just flat out very
pretty direct,
plain Jane, it's about religion.
Absolutely.
It's a critique of religion, and the pros and the cons to it. Like you mentioned a second ago, Willard, the waitress lady who they shoot out a homeless man in the diner that she was working at, and she goes out and she gives him the homeless guy food. And then later on in the movie, you see how some religious people are, or even in Willard's case, like him believing so hard, sacrificing the son's dog. AJ kind of got out of focus for a little bit here. That's a little off-putting and distracting. There was the Roy Lafferty character, the preacher with the brother who was in a wheelchair, who believed so hard that he was hearing the voice of God and that he would be able to resurrect people, that he murders his wife. Yeah, I can go on and on about this, but I think it's pretty obvious that the whole point of the movie is that religion can be dangerous. I
was gonna my interpretation of it is,
but it can be.
Everybody's a sinner is what I picked up from it, because they were basically focusing on, for the most part, characters who believed in God, just life or
At
death.
In the first and second act 100%. Like, and most of the hardcore believers, in fact, I think all of them except for maybe the grandmother, end up dead.
Yeah.
Like, for all of their beliefs and all of their and whatnot, they like, it does not end well for them at all.
It seems as though the more pure characters of this movie have some of the worst life events, and some of which they are unaware of, like the stepsister character, who is just like, she has no idea what kind of led her life to be where it is. She's so innocent, but she has no idea what her family history is, and it's that of extreme tragedy. Some of it due to religious beliefs and such like that, and I mean, also just really bad decision making, of course, in this film. Yeah. But she has probably one of the more tragic storylines.
And then Tom Holland's character, who is more thoroughly fleshed out in the third act, is the only character that kind of lives in between good and bad. Like, he killed a couple of people, but he did it in response to some bad acts that those people had done.
Which he says himself, I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, nobody thinks they're a bad person.
Right.
No matter how bad a person is, nobody thinks of themselves as the bad person.
I'm a good person.
Mm-hmm. but as the audience, you're looking at that character, and it's up to you. You may agree with him, you might not. You might say, well, he's still a bad person because he killed people, or you might be. I think they even say, like, you hear when they're talking to Sebastian Stan, the sheriff guy, when somebody's talking to him over the radio, he even says, like, yeah, we think he did in this preacher guy over here, but word is that he wasn't a good guy anyway.
He probably deserved being killed.
There you go. Something
is
like
what
that.
He said. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it was justified or not?
No.
You don't think it was justified for him to kill him?
I don't think murder is ever justified.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Fair opinion.
I think the person should be locked up.
Sure.
But I don't think murder is the best,
No,
murder somebody else because they did something bad. Now, we're talking about the pastor.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you see somebody that, I mean, he's a fucking dick.
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't tell the girl to kill herself. He just kind of used her and abused her, and he left.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't think he needed to be murdered.
I'm not agreeing with you or disagreeing with you, but I will say that it's not. I don't know. That's kind of just narrowing it down to the real meat and bone of it. I think it's a bit more complicated than just like, well, he didn't tell her to kill herself.
Well, no, I mean, he was sleeping around. He was a pastor, not a fake pastor, but I don't think he deserved to be murdered.
Okay,
I will say the problem with those type of actions with me is not necessarily that someone is being murdered, but so much is that I don't think it's ever a good idea for someone to take the law into their own hands in such a way.
Yes, which is definitely what happened with that character. Yeah, True. That's a good point. I mean, I don't know.
Narratively, it makes sense, and it's kind of like satisfying to see the preacher character get his comeuppance.
Oh, it felt great to watch it.
Yeah, but in real life scenarios, which is what this movie kind of wants you to start thinking about, is how these types of things relate to real life. Yeah, I don't think that's ever a good thing. Which opens up a whole new. I'm not going to get into it. A whole new political can of worms, because then you got to put your trust in the system, and the system's not perfect either, so I'm not even going to really go there.
This is when Peter becomes Batman.
Right, exactly.
Him and his new dog sidekick.
The most adorable duo. Yes. That sounds awesome. Sign me up. Gotcha. I'll be your dog. Nice. Well,
anyway, I feel like I've rambled enough. Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
I mean, I would definitely want to call it rambling, but go ahead, John. Yeah.
I feel like we never said it, but we basically spoiled the.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Absolutely spoiled.
I don't feel like there was much to spoil about it, though. Like you said, was there a point to the movie?
It's kind of obvious where some of these threads are going, and less obvious than others. So, there isn't. If you watch, I mean, the trailer doesn't give anything away, but as you watch the movie, it kind of gets a bit more obvious what's happening there. I don't know the point. I think
everybody's a sinner. That's what I got from it. It was just everybody's a sinner. I mean, no matter how hard you pray to God,
That's a really good point. Yeah, everyone has their own sense of evil to themselves in this movie and in real life as well.
Tom Holland.
Well,
he can murder a few people.
He says he's not a bad person, but taking the law into your own hands sometimes.
He kicked 3 teenagers' asses pretty bad.
I forgot about that.
They deserved it, yes, but regardless, he still took the law into his own hands, and he fucked them up pretty bad.
Absolutely. Again, a lesson that he learned from his father, and that he executed to a T when his time came. When
he even cleaned the blood off
his knuckles in the same way.
Those
I love how they
good.
do that shot.
Yeah,
how they splice that shot in for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't even have to, and part of me almost wishes that they wouldn't. Just that way, we could have been like, oh my god, kind of more, not subconsciously, but just kind of have that revelation for ourselves. But even still, the parallel, it was still fun to watch, though. Regardless.
I feel like the parallel was already obvious, and so they didn't need to. But I like that they did. It
was nice to see, oh my god, yeah, he's becoming exactly who his father was.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of insane. But yeah, I mean. Again, I just could not help but hate Robert Pattinson's character. It was crazy. Just the first scene he has where he's insulting how poor the family is.
That accent was pretty good.
I love that voice.
Oh, yeah. And as always, his performance was spectacular.
Oh, my God. This guy is great.
He's a bastard and a half in this film as well.
I remember I was talking to somebody yesterday about recording this podcast and that I'm reviewing this movie. And he hadn't heard of the movie. And so when I mentioned Robert Pattinson, he kind of gave a snicker. And I was just like, no, he's actually good. He's actually amazing actor.
You watch The Lighthouse.
Whatever, Twinkles.
The farts.
Yeah, the farts. It always comes back to the farts.
I know. Check out our Lighthouse episode.
But yeah, with some people, they still know him as the Twilight guy, but he's amazing.
Which is unfortunate, but that franchise was just too big. So it's kind of but I love how hard he's worked to get that stain off of him now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's definitely put in so much work.
And I feel like for any cinephile, like he's definitely broken out of that mold tenfold. But for the casual moviegoer who don't really watch movies quite as much, I can see why. Like you just said, because that franchise was so big and his face was everywhere, that's kind of all some people know him for.
And nowadays I don't think that at all. I hear his name and my mind goes straight to Lighthouse.
Nowadays, yes, and I'm so happy for that too. I'm glad that he's proven everyone wrong. I
hear his name and I think, oh fuck, I'm just excited to see what he's working on next. I just want whatever movie he's in. He's one of those actors for me at this point. Like I'll watch.
He's an artist. Yeah, he's such an artist. Like it's cool to see. Like he is now like a next level swoon. And I think the first movie that did it for me that I realized, oh shit, the kid can act. Was and I've referenced this movie multiple times on the show, but Water for Elephants was one of his earlier films since Twilight, and that's another really, really good movie that I'd recommend to anyone. Just because, I know it's kind of a silly name and all that, but taking the time to watch it, I think will prove why, I guess will help kind of support my decision and why I think it's so good and why he's so good. But it's got a great cast too.
I don't think we have any. I don't know what movie we're reviewing next week, but it is your turn.
A suggestion.
Okay, as do I. But what do you think?
Can we get to that later, guys? I'm not quite done talking about the movie
please,
yet.
Go for it. Go for it. What you got?
Well, AJ, I haven't. We haven't. Forgive me, maybe I missed it, but I don't believe we've heard your interpretation of the movie quite yet. Before I start delving deeper into mine,
I touched on it earlier. I think it has interesting moments. I think that. As far as the story goes, I think it was fine in the latter third of the film. Final act was a little more what I was looking for in it. But I honestly think I need to go back and watch it a second time, and preferably when it's not 1 a.m. so that way I can more appreciate it. But I think it was the slower tone of the first two acts that kind of just made it drag for me. So then by the time the third act came around and it did get more satisfying, it was almost a little too late for me, both literally in a time sense and also just emotionally. I was kind of just like, okay, cool. I'm glad that this is all getting justified kind of to a degree with Tom Holland's character, but also do I care anymore at this point? I feel like I got the gist of the film, and there are some characters that are freaking dirty ass deeds, or they do dirty ass deeds. Like the photographer character is fucking ridiculous. We haven't touched on him yet. He and his model wife, if you will. I like that. That was a crazy ass arc as well. I kind of liked how they had that B story going on the entire time, and when that comes to fruition, that was just crazy. I don't know. Yeah. I remember not fully realizing what was going on with them until they actually showed. We're in spoilers now. Until we see an actual murder occur, where I was like, "Holy shit!"
In the beginning, I thought they were going to be because they foreshadow it pretty early on when when Willard's meeting his future wife, the waitress. That's when those two characters meet as well. Mm-hmm. And the narrator says later on they would refer to each other as the bait and the shooter.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I thought maybe it would be a cult type thing that they were doing.
Right. It was their own personal little cult.
Kind of, yeah. They were a Bonnie and Clyde of murder.
Of sorts, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I thought that was sprinkled in really well. We got enough of those characters that we knew what they were about. And
to watch them die, ooh, I felt like that payoff was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was. He finally got what was coming to him.
And in that scene, there's a lot of subtle tragedy in this movie that I loved. A lot of small details that I think, if you're paying attention, really make you feel. For one, that instance when those two characters get what's coming to them, it's another one of those Tom Holland's character waiting for the right moment, which again was something his father taught him and was something he had already shown with the bullies. Mm-hmm. But not only that, there's a brief line from the narrator when he says that the wife thought about killing Carl and running off with this other guy. And was like, sure, he's young, but we can make it work. She was already looking for a way out.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Tom Holland finally makes the move and takes out Carl, and they're pleading with each other, hey, don't shoot. There's this background tragedy that she didn't want to kill him either. She really didn't.
Right.
And she wanted to get away, and that was her opportunity, but it didn't happen that way.
She was too far in at that point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She was just too far in. Like she had followed him for how long? I mean, granted, throughout the film, there are a couple scenes where it like was mentioned probably, where she kind of says like, "I want out of this," and
I want out.
yeah,
They're crying
like
now.
I told you, I didn't want it. I don't
intense.
like this anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and all that, and yet he's still. It's like it's weird how the character. It almost feels like obviously it's his own lust in wanting to do it, but he also mentions earlier on in the film with that war vet, like I think it was to the war vet character where what was it like maybe it was the narrator that said it, where he feels like it's the only way to keep his beautiful wife around is to keep doing something so lustful and so kind of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like tantric and all that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Like he felt like he needed the cheap thrills in order to keep her around.
They also said that him killing people he made him feel closer to God than anything else.
Yeah,
and that ties perfectly in with what I think the actual point of the movie is that it's seeing how these characters, their relationship to God.
Yes, kind of like I don't know, like I might be getting the mythical character incorrect, but kind of like Icarus, how the closer you fly to the sun, the further you fall as well. And it's like the people that were closest to God end up kind of being the more corrupt characters and the more evil ones by the end of it, or at least by the end of their own individual storylines, if you will. I get
what you're trying to say, but that metaphor doesn't quite work, because the whole Icarus thing was his ambitions, like trying to fly higher than anybody else, are what got him too close to the sun and ultimately led to his demise. But
right,
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, the closer you are to God in this movie, the more evil,
that's
more
true
sad
with
the
John?
outcome is.
With the first preacher, where he thought he was basically God, he thought he can resurrect people, and he murdered his wife. He flew a little bit too close.
Oh, okay.
What a terrible scene that was as well, where he's trying to revive her,
which was intense. Like when they say she was murdered. Remember where they said this was the last time they'd see her, and then when they actually showed it happen, those murder scenes really had me at the edge of my bed.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring up that moment, because this kind of goes back to what I said earlier about how nobody sees themselves as a bad person. Even when that character, Roy Lafferty, gets picked up by the Bonnie and Clyde murder couple, and he refuses to go through with what they're doing, and he still kind of views himself as a person. He still sees himself as a good person and as a man of God, which is why he refuses. He's like, I'm not going to do this. Like, you can kill me if you want, but I'm not doing it.
Right. He just made a very self-absorbed, narcissistic mistake, and yet he still felt not justified, but like you said, viewed himself still as a logical person by the end of it, which is crazy, but yeah.
There's a lot more delving into. There's a lot of subtlety to this movie. As much as some things were blaringly obvious, I think there's certainly a lot of subtlety that accompanies it.
Right.
I could probably go on I could probably make this podcast an hour longer going into the finer details, but obviously we're not going to do that.
Yeah. At least not right now. I mean, if we ever want to, we can always just have just straight up review episodes where we just get right into that. That way we can spend the extra half hour, 45 minutes and really delving into something if we find movies that we felt require that much more depth into it. I have no problem with that. In which case,
that could be fun.
Episodes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that said, if there are ever any movies you guys, or video games, comics that you want us to read, anime to watch, manga to read, whatever, suggest it to us. Again, STGeekPod@gmail.com or at STGeekPod on Instagram and Twitter, as always. Just definitely let us know. We're open to suggestions for sure. But yeah, I could see why this movie is, just to be honest and straightforward, it's poorly rated for the most part. It's kind of split down the middle as far as how people are taking in this film. It's like in the 50s, low 50s.
I feel like your personal beliefs are also going to impact how you feel about this movie, which is why I said up off the top that it's hard to say that I'm not biased here because I am atheist. I don't necessarily think religion is bad, but I think too much religion is certainly bad.
It's more about what people do with it at the end of the day.
Yeah, because there's people I know that are religious and they do a lot of great work. They help the homeless. They donate to shelters and to charities and whatnot. And then there's others that kind of use it as a vehicle to oppress and to Like, so yeah, it's all about what you do with it. Just being a believer doesn't automatically make you a good person, just like being a non-believer doesn't make you a bad person.
Absolutely. And I feel like this movie, while it doesn't lean in that direction, I think that's a perfect example, though, of like...
I think it leans there in a few ways.
Yeah, it does lean in certain areas. But again, it just kind of says that everyone's hands are fucking dirty. No one is perfect in this
We're all just people trying to figure shit out, failing and getting up again and giving it another shot.
Occasionally murdering.
Most people probably aren't doing that. I'd say a vast majority are probably not doing that.
I guess. Oh, darn.
Man.
Meet me in the gulag. Call of Duty only.
There you go. As it should stay. For sure. Well, is there anything else that we should talk about for this film? I'm personally good to wrap it up, but if you guys have any last thoughts, feelings, please.
See, that's the thing. There are several things I want to bring up, but those are just going to spin off into other smaller conversations that I like. We just unfortunately don't have time for. I personally, I thought the movie, like I was lukewarm on it at first, but it won me over. I loved this. I loved it.
Wow, good.
I thought it was great.
I actually agree with Peter.
Okay.
It was a slow start, but I did really like the meaning behind it. I actually really think the title for the movie is unbelievably appropriate too.
Yeah, at first I thought it was kind of a funny title, but yeah.
That's another funny thing I forgot to mention was that the title, the Devil All the Time, is obviously in reference to the narrator saying that his Willard was fighting the devil all the time. But there's only 2 moments where the devil is even mentioned. It's that line, and then later on during one of Robert Pattinson's sermons. And so It's not so much that these people are fearful or fighting the devil. Again, it kind of goes back to the relationship with God and how that their fear or faith, whatever you want to call it, is what shapes their actions.
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
No. I actually love that you said that a lot. That's a really good observation. And it's kind of crazy how, it's like it is completely related to the film from start to finish. It is, even though, when I first read the title, I was like, what is that supposed to mean? And then it's spoken in the first like line or so in the movie. And I'm like, okay, we'll see where this where it fucking goes.
Well,
interesting.
That's not a good start.
Right. That sounds like bad English, but we'll see. A lot of the characters in this movie do speak terrible English, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so what are we watching next week?
All right, so go ahead. Well, you had a suggestion, John. Go ahead.
This suggestion only work obviously if you guys are comfortable. I mean, we just came back from Vegas.
I think I know where this is going.
Pornography.
Tenet is out. We can watch Tenet. We can review it.
I know. And I want to support Christopher Nolan. I do.
So that I'm going to bring it up every single episode. So when y'all ready, again, we were in some of the most public, crowded places this past week. Not days.
We got lucky. We escaped with our lives.
That doesn't mean anyone's untouchable here.
I totally agree.
We got extremely lucky.
But I'm saying you got your guys' line is all over the place. Sometimes you're okay being at this part of the line, but then the theater, the line's right here.
I did this for a friend that I care about a lot.
I was gonna say some things are necessities and some things aren't.
I want to. Can you allow me to share my screen real quick, Peter? On here.
I'm sorry.
Allow me to share my screen on here real quick. Let's continue talking.
Okay.
Can you allow me to share screen share? All right, continue. I'm sorry, as you were.
Oh yeah, God allowed me to watch, or is telling me to watch Tenet.
Fair enough.
I'll murder both of you if we don't
know how to do that, AJ.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Then never mind. I'll just say it then. So I went on Google and I Googled Tenet. The first thing that comes up is a big fat red COVID-19 alert. Showtimes may not be up to date in places where health guidelines have recently been changed. So believe me, as much as I want to be able to see this movie, which also stars Robert Pattinson to a degree, I don't know if I'm willing to risk my life again going out to do that right now. And again, I want to see this movie. It released on my fucking birthday. I want to see this movie, but I don't know.
So
I'm not the most comfortable with it.
What's the difference between a theater and eating at a restaurant?
It's a lot less people, I imagine. And
also, I would imagine everywhere needs to fill up to only 25% capacity. So there's social distancing everywhere in California.
The difference is I've only eaten at a restaurant recently on 2 occasions. Once when I was in Vegas, and 2 when it was AJ's birthday.
Peter, I've seen stories with Mei Lee, you sitting there at Korean barbecue. Dirty.
Yeah, that was the very first week that the lockdown came up, and that was the last time since.
Oh, wow.
And that was because she wanted to. I didn't even give it. Yeah, whatever.
I know. You did say that. You said you never really wanted to do it. You were kind of forced.
Yeah.
That's true. You did.
Okay, well, again, I'm going to suggest it every time. I'm going to end up watching it. There's a little theater over here that's open.
Oh, God, don't get sick.
So, I mean, if it's packed, I'm going to leave and ask for my money back. But if there's only one other person in the theater, probably going to be fine.
Now you can share screen. I figured it out finally. I've been working on the background.
That's all right. Well,
Moment's gone.
I know, right? No, it's okay. I will say this. So we'll have this movie pending for now. Well, the only thing is, okay, this could work for Peter and I.
Spoil it for everybody.
This could certainly work for Peter and I. Peter, if you're comfortable with the idea of this,
no,
great. If not, that's fine.
Only
too.
fans.
I respect it. Well, that of course. But secondly, I will hit up some local theaters to you and I will ask about their procedures as far as sterilization goes, sanitizing goes, disinfecting goes. If it sounds like they actually take things into care and consideration, like as in when a theater empties, they spray that shit down with like a fog machine or whatever, then I'm into the idea if you are. Otherwise, I'm also fine with putting off Tenet. I don't want to say that, but it's also not really worth it for me.
I think Harkins is closed, so you guys aren't going to watch it.
I just looked
at there are a
the
lot of local theaters around the area. There's like Yorba Linda and stuff like that.
I'm looking it up now, and most of them are closed. Like most of the theaters nearby are even the AMCs. Yeah, right. They are closed.
I'm down to do like a little bro trip. We can definitely do that. We'll like take the other theaters are like 20 miles away. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
we've driven out further together.
It's obviously not going to happen for next week. So what movie are we reviewing, AJ?
It
so
can happen next week. Who knows?
It can. I'm going to call the theater, and if I get good news from them, then great. If I sense that they're not taking necessary precaution, then I'll let you guys know. But I'll probably call them as soon as tomorrow.
Because there's a lot of that. You can see how some businesses are taking it seriously and some are not so much.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. What it's like, if I'm going to go dine out somewhere and they're not disinfecting my table before I sit there, fuck that. Sin and I have actually left because they weren't doing it. And I was like, yeah, no. Like, if they're not going to clean it, what's the point?
Then what's the point? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's too bad because, I'm looking at Tenet right now, 73 on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb, Metacritic 69, 87% on Google users. So I mean, it's looking pretty positive, but at the same time, they're getting so much less exposure right now.
Oh my God, it's not making any money.
How about this? Sad. How about this?
What's up?
Instead of we do all that, we check the theaters, we see if it's safe, and if it is, we go. But instead, we see New Mutants.
I am so down.
The more optimal film. I mean, for all we know, we'd probably end up liking that one more. Who knows?
Who knows? Who the fuck knows? I really want to see Tenet.
The answer to this film,
but I would much rather watch the shit show that is New Mutants.
Oh my God!
So hilarious and unfortunate how after all of the shit that movie went through, after being put on the shelf, after being re-edited, and then put back to its original editing, giving a release date again in the past 3 years.
Again.
Yeah.
And then all of this happened. And now they're like, we're putting our foot down. This movie's coming out. And it had to come out at this time.
The COVID happened.
Yeah.
It's one of the most tragic.
The saga of that movie is so hilarious to me. It's so unfortunate.
Wild.
How long ago did they film this movie? 4 or 5 years ago?
It was supposed to come out like 2 or 3 years ago. No. It was before. God, that was a while ago. Wasn't it before the merger?
It's been a while now.
But when Fox and Disney.
Oh God.
Because I remember when that happened, people were like, "What's going to happen with New Mutants? Like, what's happening with it?" Because I think it was in production at that point still. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Guys.
Anyway.
Yeah, dear Lord.
So maybe a movie in a theater. If not, what would we watch?
Okay. Yeah, what was the movie you were going to recommend, AJ?
I was going to recommend another Robert Pattinson film, or one that he stars in anyway, called
Twilight.
Yes. Breaking Dawn Part 1. So that way we end it with a cliffhanger. No,
nice.
I was going to say
Good Time.
2017 film Good Time, which I hear again that he is fantastic in. But I'm also very open to Tenet as long as the places are very convincing, the theaters that is, are very convincing on how well they clean shit. And as long as they don't sell to full capacity, then I'm into the idea. I'm definitely into the idea. And from what I'm seeing of local theaters that are open right now, they have a lot of showtimes, which leads me to believe they probably are doing low occupancy. Therefore, they're able to stretch out more showtimes throughout the day.
It's California right now. They're just barely lifting, the lockdown. Every place is 25% capacity. That's why, restaurants are open for indoors, but nobody's in there. Or it's so empty. But yeah, what was the movie again, AJ?
Good Time.
Good Time. Good Time.
Good Time.
Yeah. Starring Robert Pattinson.
All right.
Check it out. So yeah. Oh, John's got his coffee. He's ready.
Just in time for us to go.
No, right at the end of the podcast, I got my coffee. So let's do the plugs. You guys can follow us at STGeekPod at gmail.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Wait, do we have a Facebook?
We do have a Facebook, STGeek Podcast.
Facebook. You can listen to us on all your streaming services, Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict. Give us the thumbs up. Just listen to us. We got some good stuff to say. Peter, not so much. AJ, racist. Me, I don't know. But we have good stuff to say.
It all works out somehow.
So you guys should listen. It's great. Yeah, thumbs up, 5 stars. I think I got everything right. We're gonna start eventually posting these on YouTube. So
now that I'm actually
maybe this episode.
Video, yes, this is actually gonna be going up. So we will have video episodes of the show with our beautiful faces.
I should start making myself more presentable.
Yeah, I rolled out of bed to record this one. Yeah. I was like, I need a hat immediately.
I literally finished the movie and then set up.
Really?
As did I.
I didn't have time for. Is that why you were running late?
Yeah, because I started a little later and the movie wasn't finished yet.
Wait, it's not done. Oh shit. Got you. All right, then. Well, maybe I should do that next time. I'll go to bed early so that way I can wake up early. Go figure. Anyway. Oh, cool. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. We may be talking about Tenet. We may be talking about Good Time.
Follow us on Twitter. We'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly. Follow us, STGeekPod on Twitter, and yeah, we'll definitely keep you updated. Anyway, again, YouTube channel, STGeek Podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace.
Bye, guys. I gotta work out.